Hess News Radio, WRVA, the voice of Virginia.
All right, 6:03 this morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to News Radio WRVA. It is Thursday, July 16th, the year of our Lord 2026. Good morning. Thank you for making us a part of your day. Remember, either you wake up with Richmond's Morning News or you're going to walk around in a daze and a haze and you'll be going, what? I didn't hear that. When did that happen? You either wake up with Richmond's Morning News or you play catch up all day. So we've got an interesting show planned for you today. We're going to follow up on some stories that we've been covering this week. Here on Richmond's Morning News. We'll be talking with Glenn Sturdivant, member of the General Assembly. We'll talk to him about, the Shoesmith situation. I don't even know. It's so hard to describe it. The Shoesmith landfill that is now going to cost us millions and millions and millions of dollars. And no one seems to take the lead on this down in Chesterfield. We're going to talk to him coming up on the program this morning. In fact, it's important enough we're going to talk to him at 7:03. We'll also get a preview of the president's speech tonight, which you can hear on News Radio WRVA. The primetime address is 9 p.m. tonight. And, of course, it's Thursday, so Jim Gilmore stops by the program as well. So I have all of that on the agenda for you. And a reminder, we are now taking people to sign up to play in our golf tournament. We are going to raise money for Tunnel to Towers. And I'm going to give you all the information, but you can go to News Radio. You can go to WRVA.com, WRVA.com/golf to find out more information. All right, with all that being said, let's get after it. It is now time for Richmond's Morning News Brief. All right, first big story of the day. You heard it, folks. You're not crazy. I'm telling you, you're not crazy. If you've been looking at the way that the state has been going, how the Commonwealth's gone, and the direction we're taking since Abigail Spanberger's taken over, and you're scratching your head going, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. You're not alone, because now, right now, Abigail Spanberger is underwater. I won't say a majority, but 47% of residents in the Commonwealth say, no, we're not going the right way. That's our first big story of the morning.
Number one.
All right. After just 6 months in office, Abigail Spanberger is now underwater. Her polls, 47% say that she's doing a bad job versus just 44% that saying she's doing a good job. 9% must live under a rock because they have no idea. That's not good news for the governor. We'll talk about it this morning here on Richmond's Morning News. Story number two. The U.S. trading shots back and forth with Iran. Iran's called and said, hey, can we get back to the negotiating tables? Donald Trump says, you know what, why? You guys just say one thing and then do something else. But this is, I think, a big deal. Iran has released an American. Here's the latest from Fox News.
Number two.
Iranian authorities claim to have struck U.S.-linked targets across the region in Jordan, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The United States military has itself completed another 6-hour wave of strikes. Explosions were heard across Iran and air defenses were triggered in the capital, Tehran. Separately, the U.S. fired on and disabled an unladen oil tanker, which we're told was attempting to sail towards a blockaded Iranian port. Iran is warning it's prepared to spread the conflict. The country's Joint Military Command has threatened to destroy all the infrastructure in the region. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
All right, that's the latest from Fox News. Now, as they've been going back and forth, trying to figure out, are we going to negotiate? Do we sit down? Do we have more discussions with them? Remember, they've had technical discussions about, well, what really is the MOU? And then tried to have real discussions only to see Iran change their mind every 2 seconds or saying, yeah, I know we agreed to that, but we can't do this. But I think this is very interesting because we're talking about the hardliners. Are you getting through to them? Are they feeling the pressure? This is something interesting that not many people are talking about, but there's several Americans that have been held by the Iranian government. One was released yesterday. Is that capitulation? Does that mean that they're really interested in talking? Is that the show? Is that a sign of anything? We'll keep an eye on it, and I'm sure tonight we'll hear more from the president because that's our third big story of the morning.
Number 3.
All right, the president's going to give a primetime speech today, 9 p.m. You'll hear it here on News Radio WRVA. What's he going to talk about? Well, it's Donald Trump. So he's going to go on and talk about a bunch of different things, probably go off teleprompter for a little bit. One of the things he's going to talk about undoubtedly is the SAVE Act. So what exactly is the SAVE Act? Why is this so important? We're going to talk to someone from the AFPI, the American First Policy Institute, get a little bit of a preview of that coming up on the program today, coming up at 7:35. All right, story number 4.
Number 4.
All right, the Shoesmith landfill. Nobody's ever heard of this place before unless you live down in Chesterfield and maybe you dropped off some garbage there one day. But right now, it is something the entire Commonwealth needs to pay attention to because there is toxic water that's being leaked out of there. It's being trucked. It was being trucked to Richmond. Then Richmond says, nope, we don't want your dirty water from Chesterfield. Now, how are we going to get to the bottom of this? The state threw $11 million at it during the budget process. But seriously, who's going to take the lead? Bureaucrats say, no, you can't dump them over here in Richmond. So now we got to truck it out. Where are we with this? Glenn Sturdivant joined us coming up at 7:03. We'll talk to him about what's going on and how we're going to get this thing cleaned up and fixed. It's a big story if you live down in Chesterfield and throughout the region. All right, that's the 4th story. And the 5th story, Super Dave and I had to go to the DMV to get plates. I finally got plates. Took me like 5 times. But I finally got them. People at DMV and Ashland were awesome. Thank you very much. I thought about getting personalized plates because normally I'll get personalized plates, but I said, no, I'm just going to get my Don't Tread on Me license plate this time around. Maybe I should have because maybe, just maybe, randomly, I could have gotten the best plate ever like this woman in Florida.
Number 5.
I looked at it and I said, I don't think so. I don't think a woman that lives in a senior community that's going to be 77 years old next month will be driving around with what this plate has to say. I'm kind of resigning to it. I figured maybe it was just destined to be on my car. I can handle it if I get a few honks here and there. Actually, being over 70, I might like a few honks.
Her name is Nancy Dello Citro, and her new license plate, when it arrived, had these numbers on it: SQZ A55. Now, if you're just driving or you're getting dressed this morning, like what? If you look at it, it looks like Squeeze. A55 looks like. I'll let you figure that out because there might be kids in the car with you or kids listening this morning. But it says Squeeze. Another word for Heine. All right, Bennett and Tally, you're sitting there at your kitchen right now. I got to ask you, if you ended up getting this license plate, what would you think? I don't know. Super Dave, are personalized plates good or bad?
It depends what you get on them.
Would you want one that says Squeeze Heine? If it showed up at your house, would you go, yeah, I'm Mr. Squeeze Heine?
No, well, I don't know. I like that she's keeping it.
I'd keep it.
I probably would. Because it would be a conversation starter. Because the first thing somebody would say was, how'd you get that on your license plate? Or how do you get through? Because they thought that, it was personalized.
What if
and
they walked up and just wanted to Squeeze Heine?
Depending on who it was, I'd let them.
I'm just saying. Personalized license
or I'd
plates.
make it into T-shirts and start selling them and probably make enough money to retire.
Hey, look, there's Mr. Squeeze Heine. Hey, that's the Squeeze Heine guy over there, Super Dave.
Everybody would know when you arrived.
When you show up, you get preferential. This parking space reserved for Mr. Squeeze Heine.
Well, and it was just a random. They weren't personal plates. It was just a random numbers that whatever they give you.
All right, this morning on the James Rivera text line, let's have some fun. 833-804-1140. 833-804-1140. What is the best personalized plate that you've ever seen? Do you have a personalized plate? Tell me what it is, and I'll see if I can figure it out. And if you can have a personalized plate, What do you want on your plate? Dave wants squeeze Heine. I don't know what I'd put on mine. Because then they have, I always try, and then they have too many, not enough letters, so I can't put what I want on my plate. Personalized plate, what would you have on there? Would you want a plate that says squeeze Heine if it was just kind of randomly sent to you, or would you send it back? 833-804-1140, 833-804-1140, the number for you to join us. All right, don't forget, you can go online right now, WRVA.com/golf to sign up to play for a Swing for Heroes golf event. It's going to take place September 22nd, Hunting Hawk Golf Club. We're raising money for Tunnel to Towers. And by the way, it's brought to you by Better Floors and our friends at Greer Financial Group. All right, coming up on the program, we'll talk about Abigail Spanberger and her underwater poll results. This is not good for the governor this early in her tenure at the governor's mansion. It's pretty quick that people do not like the way that the Commonwealth's going. We'll talk about it coming up with you here on News Radio WRVA. Today's program brought to you in part by Greer